Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Apple TV Plus's new film, Palmer. And I got an early screening of this film. This is from writer Cheryl Guerrero and director Fisher Stevens, which I thought was very interesting. Fisher Stevens popping up in quite a few things over the years. The most recent thing I saw playing a new supporting character, part of this empire in the show Succession on HBO. And he tells a story of a convict who gets out of prison, played by Justin Timberlake, who befriends and connects with this young man who he winds up becoming the ward for after his grandmother, who takes care of him, played by June Squibb, can no longer help with it because of tragic events that happen in the film. And I didn't know what to expect from this drama because, here's the thing. I've never once sat here and been like, Justin Timberlake did a great job acting in that film. Social Network felt like the odd man out there. You have In Time, didn't feel like the charismatic lead that film really needed. And voicing Arthur in Shrek the Third. But anyway, you have Timberlake in the center of this role. Certain things work. I can see a sense of frustration, and he does some good physical acting in terms of facial expressions at times, and he shows emotion, and he works with those things. There's just certain aspects when he's trying to take command of a situation or be aggressive and physical, beating up someone. I didn't really buy it. And I also really didn't buy him being in prison for 12 years. But there's a bit of hit or miss with his performance, but it's still, I feel like, one of his best, probably his best performance I've seen of his leading this film and anchoring it. And what's really important, you have Ryder Allen, who plays Sam, this young boy who likes to wear makeup and watch princess shows and be who he is, and unabashedly so. Because even Palmer will push back on him, or will say something about, these things are for girls. It's and it's just you don't see any boys on this fairy show. And he's like, well, then I could be the first. And it's just you go, kid. And he's so pure and so unabashedly himself. And Ryder Allen gives such a charismatic and great performance in this role. And he has some really tough scenes to do in this film, too, emotionally. He also has some fun ones where you get really sassy with an old lady. One of the best laughs I got in the whole film. And you have other supporting cast, June Squibb's in it for parts of the first act as Palmer's grandmother, and she's great. She does such a great job. You have Juno Temple, who's a drugged out young woman who's Sam's mother, and her performance is hard to watch because of a lot of the things that she has to portray, and it's really sad. And then you have someone like Alicia Wainwright, who plays Sam's teacher and a potential love interest for Palmer, who's now a janitor at the school that Sam goes to. And they have some great charisma, and she's a really charming character. This film does such a nice job of trying to be positive about being gay, or maybe Sam inside is really a young woman, and dealing with those kinds of things in a meaningful way, and still showing some of the adversity that Sam has to face, which is challenging. I appreciated this film kind of landed somewhere in the middle. It wasn't just non-stop just torturing these characters and really hitting you over the head, and it wasn't some magical place. There are some points where I'm just some of these things they're a little too okay with. But as the film progresses, there's some moments where it's you're really beat down along with Palmer, where things aren't working out, and he really shows that he has reformed and he wants to be there for this kid. And at the heart of this film, that's so endearing and wonderful. The camera work, there's some really solid and inspired camera shots and framing in this film. I feel like Fisher Stevens brought enough personality to this to not feel like just a throwaway kind of workman-like directing job. So I feel like this film, the story felt satisfying throughout, and I appreciated the characters quite a bit. There were some things that they glossed over or maybe made a little too clean and felt a little too much like a movie at times. But in the end, I think Apple TV Plus has quite the winner on their hands with this. I think this is a really charming and meaningful film that has some great messages and a really wonderful, budding, oddball relationship right at the core of it with young Ryder Allen and Justin Timberlake in this film. I think this is a winner. I would definitely recommend going to check out this film when it debuts on Apple TV Plus. But those are my thoughts on Palmer. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.